gentlemen, and now today I am going to be talking to you about this. The medieval Kettle helmet. Now if you guys are wondering what the hell a Kettle helm is, it's technically a medieval foot soldier type of helmet, which was actually used from pretty much from the age of, well, time of the Crusades. Some say, well, somewhere before the Second Crusade, and somewhere after the first. And during that timeline, this helmet was, well, created. Now, the reason it's named a kettle helmet is because technically it looks like a kettle. And it is, I don't know if this is true or not, but speculation states that they used to use this as a cooking pot. Yeah, I don't know if that's true or not. But now, these are pretty badass looking helmets. Now, if you're wondering where I bought this from, I bought it from the same site as my third helm, which is cultofathena.com, in which I will place a link down below in the description about it. Now, this is an 18 gauge steel. It is a 16 gauge, but as I said, this is from Topeka. And Topeka is known for its reenactment armor, and which actually makes it work, actually. Now, you guys might wonder, how can you tell which side you're supposed to wear it on? You think, oh, is it universal? Actually, no. It's not a universal. In fact, if you were to level this, and I'm not saying like place it down on the table, because then this rim here would pretty much lopside. What you gotta do is pretty much have it level with your eyes. And in doing so, you can actually see a rise in the helmet. In doing so, you pretty much find out of how to wear it. Now, there are different versions of kettle helms, actually, which actually I'll place right about now.
Douce dame jolie, pour Dieu ne pense vie, que nous les seigneuries, seulement fort seulement. La descente chérie, chérie, abusée humblement. Tous les jours de ma vie, sa vie, sa vie, l'avancement. Et là, si je m'en dis, l'espérance est d'ailleurs, ton ma joie finie, ce pitié ne vous entend. Douce dame jolie, pour Dieu ne
Did we all have a fun time actually seeing those kettle helmets? I sure hope you did. Now, you guys might wonder, what is the purpose of the kettle helm? Why was it created? Well, originally this is actually cheap armor for, well, foot soldiers and other forms of, well, you know, you get the whole point. Pretty much, it's a cheap form of armor. In fact, it's stated the helmet was easily designed to technically take any form of gauge of steel, and normally it's a commoner's helmet. Though a lot of times we see medieval crusaders use something like this. Earlier forms of crusaders had what you might call an experimental design on the helmet, which didn't last very long, which I could probably see why. Let me get my other helmet. Now, imagine taking the faceplate of this helmet on my Furdes and placing it onto the kettle helmet. Well, you know what I mean, like placing it right here. Now you guys might think, oh wow, that sounds pretty cool, and you'd think that actually sounds familiar. Actually, yes, it might have been in the game series of For Honor, which a lot of people still play now. But now you guys might wonder, okay, how good is this armor? how long has this type of armor been in? Well, as I stated, it actually was stated to go from the high medieval ages, which is technically some time from the First Crusades up till technically actually till the Renaissance. In fact, some countries that were still going for the Renaissance, and if you guys are like me and state that the medieval age doesn't end until the medieval night ends, which that's kind of, well, me. But you get the point. Now, as soon as the medieval night dies off, not by gunpowder, but, you know, by different forms of government. But anyways, we'll get that to some other time. In which this helmet still stays in production. A lot of people still love these helmets because, you know why? It keeps debris off you. In fact, this is probably why it was brought back by the British during World War I and II. In fact, the origins of this helmet are hard to actually state where they originally from. Because we see the English use them, we see the French use them, we see a lot of countries in the West use them. In fact, even the Italians use them. The Germans, not so much. They had more of an early version of a salata, or salat, however way you want to pronounce it. But later on, this form of helmet would have different designs on it. You guys might wonder, what do you mean by designs? Well, it would, as I said, it had faceplate, but as well it even had a neck guard. It had upper guard defense. In fact, you probably saw that in some of the images. Now, though, these helmets were just badass for foot soldiers. Now, another reason these were also created is when it comes to taking a castle or a city. Guess what? You're climbing a ladder. That's what's going to come out on you. Arrows. In which, if you can see this kettle helmet, it pretty much protects me very well. If somebody shot like an arrow downward, it pretty much just does slope off, and in doing so, it doesn't even hit me. But if somebody gets me from the side, that's a different story. Now, no one knows of how this was also made, though. Some say it was an idea off of a buckler shield, or might have been a design off of a boss of a shield, like, for example, a kite shield. And somebody ended up keeping it over their head during the time of the Crusades. We still don't know. But still, it does keep your sun out of your eyes, in which it's kind of surprising of how long it was used. Now, though, as I stated, in production, it changed over time. In fact, it went from, well, this form into the type of helmet we call a Moron type helmet, or as we nowadays call it, the Conquistador helmet, which if everybody knows about that, technically you just see the Spanish Conquistador going into the New World, and they have the weird-ass looking helmet, which a lot of people kind of wonder, what the hell type of helmet is that? Well, that was a Spanish version of this, and later on. Still though, these things can actually take a rough amount of damage, which I'm kind of surprised. But pretty much when I'm surprised on how well it works, it's kind of weird, because this is just comprised of, well, this is just 18-gauge steel, and I've seen reenactors use 18-gauge steel, and they always refer to Topeka, or some other another type of reenactment group, but I can't remember their name for some reason. But anyways, I will leave the description down below for you guys of a link and what you need to know about this. If you guys also want to know something else about these type of helmets I love about them, another thing about these things were cheap quality. In fact, I got mine for only like about $64, something around there, at Kult of Athena, which, that's kind of surprising. Because people might think, oh, but it's 18-gauge steel, so yeah. Well, yeah, but here's the thing. Kult of Athena made my Verdes Viking helmet cheaper than it was supposed to be. Still, this is beautiful. Now though, I still might need to wear a padded coif and male coif in order to make my head feel better into it, because it's kind of still, you know, wobbling around here. But still, it does work. Now, you guys might wonder, why did they give this up? Well, due to gunpowder and stuff, a lot of people were changing their mind after the Renaissance, stating, why should we wear plate armor if the bullet's just going to go through it? Actually, there has been a bunch of bulletproof armor during the medieval age, or late medieval age, and as well Renaissance, in which they were making this type of armor, but the armor was way too expensive. And another thing is because people back then, they thought, well, it's not that I don't like the armor, it's just, well, what's the point of buying that if I should just buy that plate armor that's bulletproof? In which a lot of people didn't go for helmets, which sadly caused the problem. But the last time we ever hear of a major war with metal armor would be technically the 100 Years, well, not the 100 Years War, but actually the probably the Napoleonic War with Napoleon's cavalry officers with their breastplates and their helmets. But some stayed also during World War I with the Russians and some forms of British and German military. That's probably true as well. Because, well, technically it's the last time we see of that, and then we bring it back, and you get the point. But anyways, try it out for yourself, ladies and gentlemen, and maybe you guys can reenact your own self of the 100 Years War. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you have a good day.